Welcome to the channel. Let's begin our filmmaking journey. Have you ever observed why Christopher Nolan's films are so intricate and at the same time they are just simple stories? Memento, an amnesia patient wants revenge. Inception, creating a thought in a person. Tenet, to stop the destruction of time. Literally, they stop the time bomb. These storylines look very simple, yet they are complex stories. And every time we watch it again, we'll get something new information. Because the story world is very complex and detailed. This is the reason Christopher Nolan movies and Harry Potter movies are very interesting to watch. Unlike every other filmmaker, Christopher Nolan immerses the audience into the film and takes them into a new world. Today we will explore how Christopher Nolan is an expert in writing the story world and understand why he takes so much effort in creating these stories. To understand this, first we need to understand what is the story world. The story world is the place where the story is happening. In the film Inception, the story is happening in a dream. In Interstellar, the story is happening in the space. He enters a different dimension to find life. And in the film Matrix, the entire story is happening in a virtual world, a software. To create a story world, we need to frame many rules: the language they speak, the social life, and the communication system, and the technology, and on and on. Inception film alone has more than 500 story world rules. But to simplify, I consider these 5 ground rules, and to add detail, we can explore each of these rules. Number 1. Space, time, physics rules. Number 2. Biological rules. 3. Technology. 4. Social life. 5. Connections. Story, space, and time. Physics rules. Every story is happening in a particular place. For that, we need to define the boundaries. For example, Harry Potter, the story is happening in a magical world, coexisting with the real world where we live in. It has the same climatic conditions and the same rules as we have. But it is not visible to a non-magical person. After defining the space, we need to frame time and gravity rules of the world. Inception, the story is happening in a dream. Inception is an idea for sharing dreams. Here are some rules Christopher Nolan has framed. Rule number 1. Dreams can be shared. Rule number 2. One person is going to construct the dream and others can share it. Rule number 3. Other dreamers can influence the primary person's dream. Rule number 4. Dreams can be layered. Dream inside the dream. Rule number 5. Physics rules vary within the dream. In reality, it only takes 5 minutes of time, but in the dream, it takes 1 hour time. Rule number 6. Gravity works sequentially in dreams. If the primary dreamer is falling from the air and other layers of dreams are affected by that free fall. Nolan explains these rules to audience in the film, sometimes by dialogue.
Projections of my subconscious.
Yours?
Yes.
Sometimes by showing, and sometimes by making us experience them in our mind. And he keeps the audience engaging by not revealing full information at once, slowly taking the audience in the journey and teaching them one by one. While writing science fiction stories, these rules are very important. Number 2. Biological rules. Biological rules help in understanding the biology of the characters in the film and the surroundings in the film or story. To explain this, we need to take a look at the movie Avatar. In the film Avatar, a different species is living on the planet Pandora. They are tall and strong compared to humans. They can connect to the surroundings by tying their hair to the plants. Simply we can say aliens, but the writer called them the Na'vi. And the avatars are human Na'vi hybrids. There is an entirely different type of vegetation on the planet Pandora. These biological rules help the writer to tell about a species. It can be the hair, or it can be the body, or anything related to the body and the environment, like the races and the people, the flora and fauna, animals and creatures. diseases, evolution. We can frame many roles as much as possible. Almost every film uses this rule. Deadpool, the body regenerates. Wolverine, he is indestructible. Martian, harsh climatic condition. And food growing on the planet. Walking Dead series uses this biological rule very effectively by creating zombies. And in the film Momento, protagonist is an amnesia patient. He forgets everything in 15 minutes. Hope you understood this rule and how to frame them. Technology. While developing the story world, we need to develop the technology that is used by the characters in the story world. Just like the technology we use in our day-to-day life, in the same way, depending upon the scenario, we need to create technology in the story world. In the film Inception, a dream machine is used to share the dream. Marvel comic writers are experts in creating fictional technology. Iron Man's suit, Captain America's shield, spacecrafts, flying suits, machines, equipment, communication system. We can write a lot of these rules. This list can be really big depending upon the imagination. It is simply how far we can stretch our imagination. And almost every Christopher Nolan film shows the usage of technology. Dream machine in Inception, communicating robot in Interstellar, time inversion machine in Tenet, and the gadgets used in Batman films. Number 4. Social life in the story world. While developing the story world, we need to write a social life for the story world. Just like our social life, in stories also a social life exists. Like in the film Harry Potter, there is an entire magical community that exists, which is headed by ministers of magic and an order to fight the crime. To write social life, we need to mainly focus on these issues: magic and religion, population, language and gestures, work and culture, education, family, trade, culture, governance, food and dining. While writing social life, we also need to focus on local customs, which are very subtle, but they add a lot of details to the story. In the film Inception, when the dreams are shared, dreamer's subconscious memory projects different characters in the dream. While sharing the dream, the main antagonist is a highly influential person, whereas subconscious memory creates bodyguards. In return, it becomes very dangerous to deal with the antagonist. To explain, social life in dreams is mixed and varied, and it is brilliantly written by Christopher Nolan. We can add a lot of details depending upon the scale of the story. The final one, connections. If there are multiple story worlds exist in a story, we need to make the connection between them. In Harry Potter movie, they use the very famous 9 3/4 platform, where a train takes characters from London Station to Hogwarts. In the series WandaVision, there are 2 story worlds that exist simultaneously in the story. One is the real Marvel universe and the other is WandaVision created world. To communicate, the entire Wanda's world is broadcasting on old television sets with analog signal. In the film Inception, they use dream machine to travel into dreams and kick to come out of dreams. As a writer, we may face challenges in making these connections, but we need to find intelligent solution to solve the problem. The greater the connection, the better the audience experience. And the very important thing we should never forget, the rules which are framed should never be broken. As we have understood the ground rules of story world creation and how story narrators use these techniques to narrate great stories, Christopher Nolan is a master in creating great interesting story worlds, and his brilliant way of developing the story world helps the audience to connect till the end. It is really tough to create a great story world, but Christopher Nolan does it with dedication, and he always respects the audience. Every director and filmmaker should respect Christopher Nolan for his dedication. Thanks for watching the video. Director's Arc is a channel helpful for aspiring filmmakers to help each other to learn the art and in creating great stories. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.